It's about time.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another Icarus Complex stream. It is a Saturday, usually a day for bonus streams and the like, but today we are actually playing more Zelda Twilight Princess. We're actually going to complete the game if all goes well. I am not completely at full power today. I had a little slip earlier and I hurt my back a little bit, so I'm in a little bit of pain, but hopefully I will be fine. I have to sit still anyway, not move around too much, so yeah, I'm hoping streaming will be fine, but there is a small chance I'll have to I'll have to end it, but then it's good that we have tomorrow as well, but hopefully it's fine. So if I feel a bit off, if I feel a bit less energetic than I usually am, that's why. So just so you guys know. But I'm still excited to play Twilight Princess. We are currently standing at the entrance of the final dungeon. It's a bit of a longer one than Ganon's castle was in Ocarina of Time, but so it should be fine. It's not something where we're going to be done in an hour or two. It's going to take a little while, and then of course we have to rate the game, we have to rate the dungeon, the final dungeon. We have to get through everything. So hope TP makes things better. TP. Toilet paper always makes. Twilight Princess always makes things better. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm sure it will. It happened a couple hours ago, and it's already improved a lot from then. So I'm fine with that. It seems to be going the right direction, but yeah, it was not a very fun experience. Anyway, last time we completed 2 dungeons again. We completed the City in the Sky, which got a 9 out of 10 on the dungeon rating scale, and we did the Palace of Twilight, which got a 5.5 out of 10. So it was quite a change in dungeons there, but it was still pretty enjoyable overall. And now we're going into the last thing. We are going to try and Midna keeps saying we need to save Zelda, but Zelda kind of gave up her life force for Midna, right? But I'm guessing she thinks that she can still be saved if we go up against this new evil. Well, it's not a new evil, it's an ancient, older evil at this point, called Ganondorf or Ganon. We know this guy. This guy is the same guy we put in the ground and put in the seal, I should say, in Ocarina of Time. Of course, this guy is the guy who didn't become the King of Evil. He was stopped before he could get the Triforce, but somehow, in a wicked twist of fate, he got the Triforce of Power in his hour of need. Something went on there, and it's a little weird. But Ganondorf, also known as Ganondorf, is definitely going down again. We gotta take him down again, But yeah, I don't know how much else there to say except I'm planning on being done today, and I'm hoping that we can start the Wind Waker tomorrow. So yeah. All right. Why don't we just get started? So, let's see here. I don't have any sound. I need this to be a little closer. There we go. Need this to be in arm's reach. Okie dokie. Okay, that's not much sound, huh? It's just raining. It's just freaking raining. we broke the barrier and suddenly it's just raining. Well, Midna broke the barrier, I should say. So this is an interesting pair of statues. You got the Triforce, but it's split up into 3 pieces here. I mean, as it is, but it's interesting that it's split up over the courtyard. As I remember it, we cannot go into the castle proper yet. Look at that door, by the way. Nope, it's locked. There we go. So we're going to go into the wings of the garden here. Oh. Oh dear. Oh no, it took damage. Now my spin attack isn't empowered anymore. Oh, didn't make it, but it's fine. He should die anytime. And then I go into... Should be some hearts here, maybe. Rupees. Yeah, we spend all our rupees, that's true. I found a 30-minute mix of Dragon Roost now that you don't want to AFK there for an entire stream. Yeah, that's a good idea. You could also just boot it up on your Switch and just get to Dragon Roost and just stand there vibing. Have a save there and just, or like a save state or something you can just load in every time. You can just vibe there. You don't want to play the... But you don't even get to the part that you hate about the GameCube version. Like, Dragon Roost is really early in the game. So you won't barely feel anything. Oh yeah, we have the empowered... Okay, actually, it also charges really fast, I feel. Is it just me? Yeah, there's a lot of combat gauntlets here. So far, it's just little goblins going... Blah! Bum, 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 bum. Hey, out my way. Okay, this looks a bit like a combat arena. Also, the fog and the rain is really thick here. What the heck? Oh, hey, buddy. What's up, buddy?
I have come to play.
Okay. We came to play. Trying to learn everything I've learned here. I've used everything I've learned. Brrr. Oh, wow. Spin to win. Did I get him? You got a small key.
I follow the strongest side. That is all I ever known. I've ever known. He does not talk like that. He actually is very coherent for a blind.
Link, he spoke. That's what you're surprised about. Okay. I got 20 rupees now. Wow. 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 Oh my god. I remember Scotty saying, oh my god, it's so humid tonight yesterday. And today it is just so bad. Like, I am slightly dying from heat here. Like, I'm really sweaty. Whew. I gotta get my fan sometime soon. Did you just ram your sword up his backside? No wonder he gave the key after experience. It's 1,000 years of pain. I don't know if that's what I mean, maybe, I guess, you know, he might have a few holes in his, you know, posterior, but that's what you get for fighting Link. And if you block your front, then he's gonna get you in the back, you know, it's just how it is. That's a weird way to open such a big gate, but you know, if it works, it works. Yes, it is. God. And that, as they say, is all I'll say about that. Oh, man. Oh yeah, you guys want to go? You guys want to go? Whoa. I love that draw attack. It's so good. I feel like Rurouni Kenshin. Oh yeah, this place. I mean, we could go into the castle, but something tells me we need to do this the right wing as well. Might as well use some arrows here, since we got so many now after doing Tingle's minigame again. You coming? You want to go too? So even though the big Blin left, these guys don't really surrender. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Okay. Sorry, boar. Are you okay? Okay. Yeah, just you know, just shake it off. Oops. Shake it off. Shake it off. Then we hear. You can cry all you want up there. Now here, I think we need to use something we haven't used in a while. I think this might be a place where we can dig down. Graveyard. Oh yeah, I got a bomb. And here we gotta use the lantern. Wait, what? No? Oh. Ah, okay. Come on, guys. Should be good. The cursed swordsman sleeps before the sacred tree. The cursed swordsman. In the land where the rain stops, the statue of time moves. Okay. That's a hint to a puzzle or something. Oh, it's because it's raining I can't turn on those. Do I need it to stop raining before I can do that? Maybe. In the land where the rain stops, the statue of time moves. Cursed souls must sleep before the sacred tree. I'll come back here then. Wait. Oh. That's not creepy at all. No, no. Okay, that's back out here. Wait, it stopped raining. Is there raining in here then? Yeah, okay. Okay, so it's related to the land where it stopped raining to the other place. Oh, there's also something there, an engraving of some kind. Anyway, I'll figure it out, I think. I don't know if there's a specific order, but there might be. So that's probably over here on the other side. Ah, wait. Oh, I get it. Yeah, I thought I remembered there being a. So we gotta do it in the order of this triforce symbol here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So these form a triforce, right? And I gotta do it like 2, 3. Oh wait. Start in the middle, go to the outer. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. Hello, Scotty. Welcome in. This banana with a monkey be better late than never, as my dear teacher used to say. Yeah. Welcome in. I see you're using that emote again, and that's how I'm feeling today. I'm kind of sweaty, not gonna lie. Kinda sweaty, mom spaghetti. Since we did get everything out here, but I do want to go back to the hero grave stuff and figure out what that's all about, but it's kind of raining, you know? It's kind of raining. The moist things. Oh, we got a sad Zelda stamp. She's so sad. Brr. Little noises they make. Oh yeah. I was considering wearing a cap today, but I was like, no. No, no. That won't happen. Right, so I'm pretty sure we will be able to do this somehow. We need the statues over here so that we can jump over there. And these guys are kind of creepy, standing there, pointing. So these guys have respawned now. Blam. Oh, here we go. There's something there. We gotta bomb this. It could be super cool if you had some place to use all these glorious stamps. Like, yeah, wow, what would have been so cool. Okay, that opens that. So far, so good. We even have oil for the lantern stuff here. Scoop. Did that actually work? It did work. Wow. It kind of feels a bit unsafe to put a burning lantern into a pot of oil, but I'm not gonna judge anyone. Nothing happened, right? Just seems a little unsafe. I'm just, you know, just thinking. That's a lot of, and now we can actually use those rupees. It's kind of nice. Did we stop the rain? Yeah, we did. Sweet. Oh, it's timed, isn't it? I gotta be a quick boy. Oh crap, I ran into a tree. No, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. I made it. You're pondering doing some gardening. All of a sudden, the time was 10. With only 4 hours to stream. Oh no, and then you couldn't, of course. Let's see. Let's see, what's this say? Door opens where specters gaze. I know what specters, but I'm still guessing I just need to move both of these, but I'm not sure. Not 100% sure, but... Come and see here. Oh, is that it? There it is. That's the other key I needed. You've gotten everything you need out here. Now get in the castle through the front door. You got it. You got it. So, the cursed swordsman that they spoke of in this gravestone description over here. Under the cursed tree. No, under the tree. The sacred tree. Is this it? Sleeps before the sacred tree. Or did they mean... No. They meant the other guy. They meant the Stalfos. That was right here. Ah, okay. I was like, wait, is this a reference to Link from Ocarina of Time? It could be, obviously, but I don't think it is. Because why would he be a cursed swordsman, right? He wasn't cursed, he was just unfulfilled. He felt unfulfilled and wanted he wanted to carry on. He wanted to give, I don't remember the word. He wanted to give something to someone. He wanted to pass on, there we go, his lectures, his teachings. I can't word right now for some reason. We got there in the end. Pass on his teachings. This heat, I might have to open a window. Or change my shirt, because I think maybe this shirt is very heat. Like, it keeps the heat in, kind of. But, I'll wait a bit and see. Suppose all stealth children skull kids are cursed. Yeah, you would think so. But it is funny that there's so many skeletons in there when you think about the state of the spirit of the old hero. So I do remember either Monster Maze or Celtic making a video, or someone. Was it Bandit? Could have been Bandit. Who made a video about that. Welcome to the castle. Ah. Yeah, the somber version of the Hyrule Castle theme from A Link to the Past originally. Blah 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 blah. It's the compass. This kind of took me a while to figure out the first time I was in here that I could actually hang from these. Let's try this then. No? Guess I need to go from down there. Pretty sure I know what to do to those. I think you need to use this to blow out these. No? Strange. Okay. Oh, that's not good. Blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Well, I guess we're going there first then. Okay. Oh, hey. All right. No. Okay. I think it's okay. I kind of like the design of this castle. Nice. We got him. But it's kind of crazy how this dungeon actually makes throwbacks to some of the first stuff. Like, this is a throwback to the very first dungeon in the game, the Forest Temple, right? So it's kind of wild how, you know, it kind of does that. But it also kind of raises the stakes a little bit. Anyway, just want to see what's here. If anything. It's not an easy ball and chain to use, but it's a ball and chain. Yeah, what I'm pretty sure we need to do here is, this is where I'm supposed to do that. Yeah. But then... Can I? No. Okay. Ah, I know what to do. I know what to do. Needs to do here. I'm saying here. Booyah. You know that he does the swiggity swang, swag swing thingy before holstering the sword. If you don't move right after finishing off someone, right? Yeah. You gotta wait like a second or something. But I never get the timing right. But sometimes it just happens without me thinking about it, so that's kind of funny. Need more swag holstering. Yeah. Definitely. Why? This is something that was wrong. Oh right, you gotta find the right. And it's all about how long they keep the flame. That one's pretty long. Is this the longest? Probably the longest, right? So it's like this, 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 and this. And then I believe if you do this, never mind. Never mind. just never mind. Yeah, it's nice that it's kind of a mix of Ganon's theme and the castle theme. Kind of cool detail. Gonna see there's something about the balconies here where you can make a shortcut or something. You can press this button. Yeah. Hello, Real High. Welcome in. Good to see you. Good to see you. Just need to shift my seating a little bit. Okay, so there's another chest over there. Kind of feel like yes, that's where we got in. So there's also another shortcut thingy, I think, over on the other side. Let's go out on the ramparts a little bit first. Be an early stream and looks like gonna start the next game right after. We'll see. I kind of started 45 minutes ago or something, like right inside, like at the entrance. So, but I also have to do a dungeon rating and a game rating and stuff. But no, we're just gonna end the game, and then tomorrow I'm going to start Wind Waker, the first game in the adult timeline. Woo! So that's gonna be interesting. A little interesting. Okay, so there's a way up here. I'm very sure that we are going... Okay, I have another key. I'm pretty sure we have to go to the towers though. We would both be playing Wind Waker at the same time then. Oh yeah. You're at Wind Waker HD, right? as the next one. Oh, wait, okay, so you're just about to start. Nice. Nice. Oh, then I should... Oh, crap. Sorry, I didn't do this right. It's Rudy. Sorry, Scotty. Smoky. Okay, another Smoky. Nice. It's good to be ahead of the Smokies. You're playing HD Wind Waker? No, actually, for the first time in what feels like 20 years, 15 years, whatever, I'm actually going to play the original. I'm going to play the Switch 2 NSO version, the classics version, because I haven't played that in so long, and I kind of wanna, you know. Oh, we need that one. Kind of want to try that version again. It's been so long. Even if the Wind Waker HD is great version, I think it's time. Whoa. Yes! We're getting some help here. A falcon. Or a hawk, I guess. Hey! Whoa, he's got a bazooka? It's our friends, and she's got the arrow. Nice. Apparently these guys are supposed to have a much bigger... were supposed to have a much bigger role in the original game than they end up having. Like, sure, they help you find the dungeons at the end there, right? But... Link could have handled it by himself, definitely, but I kind of feel like it's okay to let other people shine sometimes. And Link knows that. He certainly knows. Okay, we're gonna run around now and take the other side of the lower castle. I'm not sure we need to, but let's do it after all, just in case, because I have many times gone up this middle tower and then I've been missing things. So, as far as I remember anyway. So let's go around the other side. La 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 la. Okay. More goons to take down. Wow. And then there's something about this. That's what it was. That's what it was. Oh man, look at that sword. That's a freaking cool sword. I want it. Something tells me that was wrong. Ah! Choo-choos. Actually, let's use this. Who knows what will happen? I don't remember what happens with the purple stuff. Real High says, I'm mixed on Wind Waker HD. I like some changes, but not others. Yeah. I know what you mean. I think the graphics are pretty in the HD version, but I also think they kind of... The whole bloom effect is kind of a little much for the HD remaster. I kind of like the cartoony feel that the original has. It feels like that cartoony feel is more intact in that game. Wow. Wow. I love this fight. This is a great fight, but oh my god. Yeah, they're a little much to take on both of them. Okay, it does work that way. Nice. So it doesn't poison you, the purple one. Oh, they're random. Oh, okay. I was just lucky. I've never really used choo-choos in this game before. Alright. Freaking finally, dudes. Woo. They got some HP indeed, and they also have a really good block. Skirt says, I really love the HD changes, even though I thoroughly enjoy the Triforce Shard Hunt. I get why they slimmed it down. Yeah, but I mean, I think my problem there is that, well, it's not a problem necessarily, but what I think that does for me is it kind of shows how slim, you know, how slim the Triforce Hunt really is, and how little actual enjoyable content there is in there. I mean, I really like stuff like the idea of the ghost ship and stuff, but when you've done it once, you've kind of done it, you know, it doesn't really feel that great the subsequent times, which is a little shame. So I don't know, it just shows how anemic I think the Triforce Hunt really is, in my opinion, of course. Yeah. But maybe it's also just because I don't really enjoy a lot of dungeons in Wind Waker. So I mean, hopefully it'll change this time around, but overall I don't enjoy the dungeons too much. Really? But I thought this was a shortcut. Am I really just blind? Because in here I can't hit it, can I? Oh, there you go. Then we can do it over here as well, I'm pretty sure. I just need to do it right. It has to be done from over here then. If anything, it really feels like Wind Waker is one of the more rushed Zelda games that I've played. I'm pretty sure it's a known fact as well, but it's definitely what? Okay. I guess it is from this one then? I don't know. Yeah, I have heard that quite a bit too, so I'm pretty sure it's true that there were other dungeons or more dungeons planned, because it does feel very short. Maybe the whole ghost ship was supposed to be a dungeon itself. Oh wow, it's just on the pixel. Not that I had to go out here, I just wanted to do it that way. Things sketch, yeah, something like that. I mean, it does get a little better. I think there are a few kind of cool dungeons, but there are also a few lackluster, or quite a few lackluster. But we'll see when I get there. We'll see when I actually have to rate them and sit down there real critically and look at them. Okay, the music is really creepy now. What? Let's follow the advice of the ghosts, huh? Speaking of ghosts. You didn't see anything, it's good. You died. Is there anything in here? It's not a chest or anything on that, right? Ugh. There you go, Gutty. Okay. Now that was one, not the third one. Just killing them in one hit and then going quack quack quack. Da-da, da-da, da-da. Okay, we're almost there. And this is where we need the last key, actually. So it's an optional. It's a lot of optional stuff, I feel like, in this dungeon. So kind of, maybe it is kind of short when I think about it. But still, it did take us about an hour to do all of it, so. Wow, the music is going absolutely insane in this scene here. No key to the treasury? Oh, I have a key. Just one guard, was that all? Alright, let's see what goodies await. Oh my god. Okay, let's see if we can find a ferry first and foremost. It was. I almost get jump scared. It's like, oh no, I'm gonna run into it. We have 2 fairies now. They only give 8 hearts. I also have the Great Fairy Potion. This one, as you can see on the corner there. Right, let's see. Oh, wait. Should I wait with opening these? Because I have full rupees. I have full rupees. And I... But I don't have Uka to get out of here quick. Nah. I'm gonna save the chests then. Do you guys remember, is there anything useful apart from rupees? Is there a piece of heart in one of them? I mean, you need 3 pieces, so. Whatever, I'll open them. Okay, no, okay, I'm not, no. That's a lot of rupees. We're just gonna, So it's just inventory fill up. And we pretty much have all we need. So, alright guys, this is it. The final battle. Time to see the coolest ass throne room in the series. Like this, it's so in a way I feel like it's very unpractical that they built it so high up that the winds blow this heavy, but it also makes the king and queen and princess more ominous, I guess. But like, look at this freak. It's like a cathedral. Like a fucking cathedral, mate. Oh, hey, Midna. Oh no, who beheaded one of the goddesses? Zelda? Time to see, we're all ferried up, yeah. Wait. Look at him. Let's find it. Let's find it. Welcome to my castle. So you're Ganondorf. Your castle? Ah, yeah, such a cool moment. I've been dying to meet you. Your people have long amused me, Midna. To defy the gods with such petty magic, only to be cast aside. How very pathetic. Pathetic as they were, though, they served me well. Their anguish was my nourishment. Their hatred bled across the void and awakened me. I drew deep of it and grew strong again. Your people had some skill, to be sure, but they lacked true power. Granny, getting old there, Granny. Granny. Yeah, he was a bit like I was after I hurt my back earlier. I was like, oh. The kind of absolute power that those chosen by the gods wield. He who wields such power would make a suitable king for this world, don't you think? Look at his veins in his cheek. Such conceit. But if you're one of the chosen wielders of power as you claim, I will risk everything to deny you. Shadow has been moved by light, it seems. How amusing. Very well, deny me then. Yes, try to deny me, you and your little friend. Oof, using Twilight powers. This is such a cool moment. Really creepy too. Oh god. Zelda. Midna. Oh, it's kind of like a throwback to the fight in Ocarina of Time where you can't use Navi. Both of you faithless fools who would dare to take up arms against the King of Light and Shadow. So you choose, and so you shall feel my wrath. I know you can kind of hear his roar, but I just, you know, pretending that he's talking like Zelda. Through Zelda, I guess. Right, it's tennis time. He even makes the same noise. It is we are actually hearing Ganondorf here, not Zelda. He makes the same noises when he does stuff in Ocarina of Time. That's really, I never noticed that. And then ah! Ah! I love how he flips the swords around sometimes. It's a real... Yeah, I can do that as well, I guess. You can hear Zelda's lullaby in there. Ooh. You don't look so well, so. What you doing? Oh. She's been freed of Ganon's influence. She's so cocky there. She's like, got him. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, hello. Dark Beast Ganon. Alright, I think I remember. Oh shit. There you are. So stealthy for such a big beast. This one I struggled with a lot the first time I did this fight. Back in 2007 or something. Nice. Yeah, run off. I also believe you can stop him like this. Yeah, I just don't remember how. Push like that. I think you gotta keep either hold it or yeah, you gotta hold it. Bro, That was fast. That was way faster than I thought it would be. Holy crap. Ew, he stinks. The light. Zelda's taking it back. Princess, I say nothing, Midna. Your heart and mine were as one, however briefly. Oh my god, they were like merged for a while. What? Damn it, close to me, yeah. Such suffering you have endured. They were roommates. But who was talking? Because Midna was a lot more mellow while Zelda was in there. I don't think so. But I'm sure someone on the internet would agree with you. Wait. Midna, what are you? You think real high needed a bonk there, Scotty? Snap out of it. That was quite a burp. Man, she's really gonna impale him there. But is it enough? Is it enough to take care of Ganny? Good old Ganny. Granny Ganny. Whoa. Is that okay? Uh-oh. Hey. Oh no. He's got her helmet. What did you do to Midna, you bastard? What? Okay, he's going down. He's going down. Oh shit, faints him again. This is such a cool ending battle. Spirits of the light, wielders of the great power that shines far and wide upon the lands of our world. In my hour of need, grant me the light to banish evil. Come on, Zelda. Show him who's the real Zelda. Light arrows, huh? Link. Chosen hero. Lend us the last of your power. You got it, princess. You got it. I'll try to stoke Ganondorf with my light arrows. You target him and keep him within range of my arrows. You betcha, you betcha. Did I just... I did. I just fell off my horse. Sometimes you can ace this no problem, or other times you get ripped to shreds. I feel like this is one of those times where I get ripped to shreds. Oh, man, this is so cool. Whenever I set, it's like I'm basically controlling both Zelda and Link. Yeah. Yeah, it feels so great. This makes the whole Hyrule feel worth it. I know it's empty and a little underused, but this makes it all worth it. This is also kind of Lord of the Rings-esque, I'd say. I really feel like they got inspired by Lord of the Rings in this game. The movies. Come on, just gotta hit him. There we go. Whoa, he dodged me real well there. Holy crap. Oh. I thought I could sneak past them there. Trying to hide, huh? Trying to run away from me, you bastard. Oh man, because they were in front of me. Okay. Now, Zelda, come on. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, that's gotta hurt. An impressive looking blade, but nothing more. Would you hear my desire? To take this foul blade and use it to blot out the light forever. Oh, you got a little glowy part there. Ah, Lord Ganondorf. It is also a light made of... light. A blade made of light. A light made of blade. What? A blade made of light. Get some help. Yeah, maybe many. He's shaking it up, you know? I wonder, I got the chance prompt in the beginning, and then I just haven't gotten it since. But I'll find out. It's fine. We have time. We have all the time in the world. Oh, there you go. Just gotta get behind him. Use the fishing rod. I got you now. Get in. He's actually looking at the thing. He's like, huh? What the heck are you doing, mate? He's looking at it. Oh, okay. he didn't fall for that. No, I've actually been trained by your mortal enemy, Ganon, so it's okay. He didn't really care about that. Oh yeah, I can. Let's get you out of here, huh? Let's get you out of this little corner here. Ganondorf's a cat? Oh yeah, because of the fishing rod. It's like, ooh, shiny, what's this? Movie thing, let's go. If I didn't have the helm split, what the hell would I not helm split? The back spikes, what the hell would I do? Thanks for the clip. Oh, chance. Oh. So it's when he charges me. There. Right. And then it's A. What? That's kind of weird. But anyway. Ah. There we go. The full experience. Whee! Come on, charge me. Okay, not like that. Charge me so I have a chance. I feel like he got better. Or is it just me? Ah! Who's the better swordsman, gang? I am. Finish! Ah! Get stabbed, old man. Oh yeah. Do not think this ends here. It's better. It's different. I think this one is also good, but it's a good one for sure. Sounds like me once again. Oh my God, Scotty. Do not think this ends here. The history of light and shadow will be written in blood. Oh, the Triforce of power left him. He was literally running on fumes, huh? And then he died. Yeah. I'm not quite sure what it symbolizes either. The fact he died standing was pretty cool, yeah. But yeah, he didn't get sealed this time. This time, he did. Hey, look at that little imp. I know her. She's back. Until next time. Midna! Oh my. That's no imp anymore. Yeah, she sure got tall. Holy shit, she's tall. What? Say something. Am I so beautiful that you've no words left? Oh my god, she's still... Yeah, okay, it's okay, it's midnight, it's midnight. Championships with Lincoln Midnight, okay. Here we go, staff credits. An epic conclusion to an epic game. We didn't do the dungeon rating yet. We will do that, of course. We also have to rate the game. But I want to watch the credits properly first. Ganondorf is probably dead, yeah. But you never know when Demise's hatred returns in the cycle of hatred. The reincarnating cycle of light and darkness. Well, funny, you should say that, says Princess, because the official manga they actually do kills. Oh my god. You're giving bait to the shippers, Princess. There's a Twilight Princess manga. Yeah, there's also a Ocarina of Time one, I think, and there's a Link to the Past one as well. They're not canon per se, but they do give some extra, you know, stuff to the games, to the atmosphere of the games, I guess. Ja, ja. Man, she's got a lot of meat in that bar. Holy shit. Are those all the... Are those all the boars? Oh no. Poor boars. Hey, everyone is partying in the town. They don't know what they're partying for, but they're partying. I don't know, maybe they do it. Maybe that woman cooks us some bitchin' barbecue in that bar. I think you're right. Barbecue. Oh, look. Oh my god, Colin has a sword and a shield. And the kids are going home. What about the prince? Well, the queen is watching over Prince Radis. Those guys are cuckoo gliding. Well, it only took me... Well, it took me less than a couple hours to do that. But I'm glad we have the extra time today to rate the dungeon and all that stuff. 3D object modeling. There it is, the peak, snow peak of dungeons. At least one of them. Here we have the less than peak dungeon, but still, oh my god, these guys, they're like exploring stuff. Oh my god. Be careful you don't become a stealthless. It's so nice that the kids are going home. And Ilya too. Oh, she gave birth to the baby. Oh my god. Bo the mayor. Ilya. Darn, you darn dilly do, you're home. I don't know what they say. Oh, look at that sun. That looks so good. That stupid sun. I don't compliment the sun often because, you know, I don't want to fly too close to it, but that is a cool looking sun. But yeah, now we're going back to the mirror chamber. Well, I guess this is farewell, huh? Light and shadow can mix, as we all know. But never forget there's another world bound to this one. Shadow and light are two sides of the same coin. One cannot exist without the other. I know now the reason the goddesses left the mirror of Twilight in this world. They left it because it was their design that we should meet. Yes, that is what I believe. Zelda, your words are kind and your heart is true. All in Hyrule are like you. Then maybe you'll do alright. Bye, Midna. Thank you. Well, the princess spoke truly. As long as that mirror's around, we could meet again. Link. Aww. See you later. Where's that? Oh no. Wait! Wait! Midna, no! What? No! Oh. Such an adventure they went on. I don't think we're gonna collect the mirror again. I have a feeling we're not gluing that back together. Why do these games always have bittersweet endings, huh? Why is there always some bittersweet ending to these games? Like, what the frick? You hated Nintendo for doing it. Okay. I wanted them to live together happily. Tezuka is here too. Tezuka. I see Tezuka everywhere now. After he... Yeah. Well, now that he's actually leaving. At least his role on the board. But yeah. Skyward Sword is the ending that really breaks you. I mean, it's one of the happier ones, I'd say, right? The legend, and his name is Bill Trinen. Scotty's favorite guy in the credits. That localization director, right? Yeah, it's a really beautiful ending here in Twilight Princess. It becomes so bright and, you know, beautiful when the game's been kind of dark, you know. But yeah. And then it has that bittersweet ending. TP remake. Yeah. Someday, maybe. But yeah, it's a great game. Oh, it's still my favorite, but so great. Let's see how I rate it after we rate the dungeon. It's gonna be a lot of ratings the next hour or so. Tadashi Sugiyama. He put the sword back. We're gonna see the Ocarina of Time remake. Summer Game Fest. I don't think Summer Game Fest is gonna show anything Nintendo. So no, I don't think so. Atsushi. Ilya's waiting. Is he coming home? There he is. The hero. Link. Oh my god, they put the statues back together. They have heads again. Yay. Executive producer Satoru Iwata. Rest in peace. Anyway. Yeah. We're gonna see that a lot in these games. So. Alright. And then it's time for the HD style credits. Tantalus. Can't skip. Oops, on stream. Wow. Is this a kid stream? No. It's an 18+ stream, but we are, you know, mature people around here, so we don't go crazy over stuff like that, right? Boom, 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 boom. But yeah, they were a few people making this HD remaster after all, so of course they need to be credited here. My God. Oh, it's officially over 25 degrees inside my room, my living room. But ugh. But yeah, I'm trying to collect my thoughts here because we're gonna raid stuff. First, we need to raid the dungeon, the last dungeon. Then we need to raid the game. So, excuse me, Mazo mention. It's already been 10 years since this remaster. Isn't it time to remaster it again? It's been 10 years, come on. You know. Anyway. Alright. We're turning it off. I won't be using my Wii U for the rest of this series then. Kill switch. Thank you, Scotty. I need to make a confirmation message in that one. Kill switch is turning off all redeems. Yeah. Maybe. But it's trapped on a dead console though. Anyway. Hyrule Castle. All right. So we're first raiding the dungeon and then we're raiding the game. So when we raid the dungeons in this series, I raid a series of aspects and I'm going to go through those right now. So the first aspect is placement and game progression. Where is this dungeon? This one being the final one. We're going to talk about that in a moment. Is it the first one? Is it the last one? All these things. Central mechanic is about, is there a central mechanic, identifiable central mechanic in the dungeon? If so, is it good, is it bad, and so on and so forth. Puzzle complexity. If there are any puzzles, how complex are they? Are they too easy? Are they too hard? Things like that. Execution requirement is sort of on the other side of the scale. It's about hand-to-eye coordination. It's not as much about thinking necessarily. It's more about, timing things, doing combat, just executing mechanics and things required of you. Then, of course, there's pacing. Is the dungeon paced well? Is it too long? Is it too short? Is it just right? Level design has something to do with the general dungeon structure. How is the dungeon structured as a whole? Is it well put together? Also, how is each individual room designed? Then there's the dungeon theme. What is the overall theme of the dungeon? Does it have a sense of place? Is it good? Is it bad? All these things. What's the aesthetic? Both from a visual, mostly from a visual, but also maybe a lore point of view. Music and vibe is about the music. Is the music good? And vibe is sort of, the whole atmosphere. How does the whole atmosphere from both a visual and auditory perspective work together? I'm all over the place today. Dungeon item. Is there a dungeon item? If yes, is it good? Is it bad? And of course, the final boss. Is it a good boss or not? So this is a very special case for dungeons because this is the final dungeon of the game. So let's go through these aspects. So placement and game progression. This is the very last dungeon of the game that leads up to the epic conclusion. It's supposed to be kind of taking you through everything you've learned and, putting you into combat situations that are really, testing your skills. And I would say, from that point of view, it does feel like a final dungeon. I do think that they're kind of throwing everything at you. They're throwing all the types of enemies they can find. They're really, trying to make you feel tested. So yeah, from the placement game progression aspect, I think it lives up to being a final dungeon for sure. Take this off real quick. Holy shit, that is hot. Central mechanic. This one, central mechanic isn't really, I think, that relevant for this one because it doesn't really have one. Unlike the Ocarina of Time thing that had the barrier stuff, but this is kind of like, yeah, no, there's not really a central mechanic in this one, and that's fine. It's not gonna, take away from it. It's not gonna add to the score. Puzzle complexity. I actually think this, unlike a lot of other dungeons in this game, this dungeon actually had a few puzzles with, the boomerang, the Gale boomerang. It had these puzzles with like, how do you make it stop raining? How do you, like, it wasn't hard necessarily, but it made you think about it. It made you like, oh, I need to stop up and I need to think, what does everything mean here? And I think that was a nice change here, actually. That the dungeon definitely makes you think a little bit more than you have. It's not just execution requirement all the way through. There's actually some thinking required. So I wouldn't say highest point for this, but a little over average for this when you think about the rest of the game. So yeah. Execution requirement, of course, is really high as well here because it's a lot of combat. You get thrown into a lot of combat situations, a lot of mini bosses. There's a lot of, doing things right and navigating things and, positioning yourself while throwing a Gale boomerang to get up, stuff like that. I definitely think it's it's pretty high on the execution requirement there, I would say. So yeah, I mean that's very on par for the game though. But throwing some puzzles in there too is a good thing for the dungeon, I would say. The pacing, I would say this dungeon is probably a bit too short for being a final dungeon. Knowing what you need to do, of course, makes it a lot shorter. But if I would probably get stuck. I know I got stuck in here the first time. I got stuck for a while in here the first time with some things I couldn't, figure out. But that was more of I need to remember that this is a thing and I haven't played those things in a while kind of thing. But when you're playing it through like this, when everything is sort of in your mind from every dungeon you've been doing the last 3 weeks or how much we've been playing this, I do think it could have been a bit longer. There could have been a few more aspects to it, even though I do quite like the fact that you start outside, get the keys, but that's more of a level design thing. Let's go into that. I think this is a pretty cool last dungeon. It's kind of a reminiscent for me of A Link to the Past, even though we haven't played that yet on the stream, but you'll see what I think when we get to that game. But you, as I said, you kind of start outside, you get the keys there, you go in, you go through the big entry hall, you go up to the higher chambers, and you kind of work your way up through the castle after that. And again, it could have been a taller castle, kind of a tower kind of thing, but I think it is really well put together. And I think each individual room is interesting. Not as interesting, though, as what we saw in City in the Sky or in Snow Peak ruins and stuff like that. Even though this kind of feels a bit like Snow Peak because it also has armors and paintings and stuff, right? I just feel like this doesn't, but then again, when you think about that, and that also puts us into the dungeon theme. Even though this is a castle and it does feel like a castle, I felt like it didn't feel as much of, it didn't have as much of a sense of place as Snow Peak Ruins did. So the dungeon theme is pretty strong, I think, for being a Hyrule Castle thing. I think also the architecture and stuff is beautiful and it's very unique for a Hyrule Castle. It definitely doesn't feel like any other Hyrule Castle we've been to. It doesn't necessarily feel as high fantasy. It's more like, or medieval, for that matter. It just feels like it's a very unique castle. And with the cool throne room cathedral on top, which is also great. So pretty cool dungeon theme, but I would still say it doesn't reach the peak that is Snow Peak Ruins. Music and vibe, the music is impeccable. I love how the music builds up the higher you go. You get the Ganon's theme becoming stronger and stronger. It kind of starts outside with no music at all, just the rain. Very, very spooky. You go around fighting stuff. You go inside and you're hit with a mix of the castle theme from A Link to the Past and Ganon's theme, which is really cool. So pretty cool dungeon music and vibe, I think. You definitely feel the intensity and the epicness building up. So pretty high points on the dungeon and the music and vibe there. There's no dungeon item, so I'm not gonna either subtract or add points for that. Then, of course, there's the final boss. I think it went a little too smooth in the beginning. The first two phases were kind of smooth, but what I kind of like about this boss isn't necessarily that it's too easy or too hard. Like the difficulty doesn't really matter too much because it's a fun 3-phase fight. You start with the puppet Zelda fight, which it's a cool twist that he actually starts controlling Zelda's body and uses I guess basically her light powers against Link. Lingering light powers inside the body against Link, and you have to do the tennis game and stuff like that. It's a cool twist on that thing, I'd say. Then you have the Dark Beast phase, which I think is probably the weakest. It's a little annoying with the Dark Beast running from every side and stuff, but it does feel kind of epic to. First of all, you can hit him in the face with arrows and jump away. That's pretty cool. But also, if you go into wolf form and you have Midna like wrestle with him and throw him over, basically a throwback to one of the very first scenes in the game where Link has to wrestle a goat, right? I think that's really cool. It's a really cool throwback there. But that's probably the weakest of the phases, I'd say. Then you get taken to the epic finale, which is, I guess it's actually a 4-phase fight when you think about it. Because then the third phase is riding on the field with Zelda on the back, doing the light arrow stuff, killing spectral phantom Ganons and making Ganon, fear for his life with light arrows being shot at him and stuff like that. That's really cool, really awesome fight. And then you have to go one-on-one. I love going one-on-one with Ganon. That's a tradition I really like in this series, especially in the 3D games. It feels epic. It doesn't necessarily feel, okay, that was actually a little difficult. He was actually, it was hard to get through his guard there, but when you did, it just felt perfect. Also with the whole, clashing of blades, and you're like, I'm gonna get you. That it just, this boss fight is not necessarily about being hard or being frustrating. It's all about being epic and cool. And you feel epic and cool while you're fighting Ganon in all these four phases. So that's really cool. Even if you don't fight him as a beast at the end there, I think it's a good swap because it really matches the epicness. And when you stab him and he gets like, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna come back, it's not over, blah, blah, blah. Then you see the flash of sand going, and then he just dies. It's like, what the fuck was that? And the Triforce power. There's so many things in that death scene where it's like, oh my god, that's sick, So, so really good boss fight. Top marks there for the boss fight. So overall, this dungeon, I would say, for the whole dungeon aspect of it is kind of, could have been better, but it does, have a lot of atmosphere and a lot of epicness in it and stuff. So I would say this is it better or worse than Forest Temple and Lakebed Temple? I kind of, I was kind of excited about Lakebed. I wasn't excited in the same way about this one. I think I think I'm gonna go with the same that I gave Arbiter's Grounds. I'm gonna go with a 7.5. It really wins a lot on the dungeon music, the boss, the puzzle complexity being a bit higher, and of course all the fighting. It loses a bit on pacing, level design, and no, I don't know. I was kind of talking it up a little bit. I know, 7.5 feels right. We're gonna go with 7.5. I don't know if you hear Mooney. If not, I'll go write my own score in the sheet. Because now we're getting the dungeon verdicts, the final total for all the dungeons here. Let me go and see, because I don't think Mooney might be here right now. Time. There we go. Oh, he is here. All right. Then I am reading. Oh my God, what? That's so unfair. That's so unfair. Wow. Because this game has so many dungeons and so much you can criticize. The final score is 7.2 out of 10, which is the same as Majora's Mask. Oh my God. That's wild. That is wild. I don't think that's necessarily true. But that is how scoring works. That yeah. Wow, that's surprising a bit. That's actually really surprising when you have so many banger dungeons here. But that again, it's just how it is. For Forest Temple, Lake Bed, Arbiters, Snow Peak, City in the Sky, and Hyrule Castle, they are really pushing it up, right? And then you have Temple of Time, Palace of Twilight, and Goron Mines really taking it down a notch. That's just how it works, I guess. So, it's fair, I guess, but it's also, in a way, not at all. I actually thought this one was going to win, which means that Ocarina of Time is still the clear winner of the dungeons, and it also means that Skyward Sword wins out over Twilight. That's actually really surprising. What's not surprising is, of course, that oh man, yeah, it's not as surprising that Ocarina of Time, of course, is higher, but yeah, it's wild for me. But also, there's not that much of a change between the scoring at the moment. I think it's yeah. Oh yeah, Moni. Now that I have it here, I'm just gonna open up the game again and get the completion time so that we don't forget again. All right, but then it's time for game evaluation. This was Majora's Mask. I'm gonna remove all that. Oh, I don't have to remove the dungeons. Right. Okay. Twilight Princess. I'm just gonna get that since I don't even have to get in. I just see it right here. So I'm just gonna save time. Oh, this was from yesterday. It hasn't saved as we went along. So I'm going to have to put 2 hours on top of that. It's about 32 hours. 32 hours. That's an estimate, but very close estimate. That's pretty wild. This is has been the longest playthrough then so far. Oh wait, now that I think about it, yeah, it's even longer than Skyward Sword. Wow, wow, I didn't think I would have spent that much time, but yeah, 32 hours. Wow, that's crazy. Oh, sorry. Oh, I don't think it picked that up. All right, okay. It's time to rate the game. This is the hardest part of any ending a game in this series, because this is really where you have to think about everything you've been doing over the last couple of weeks and really be critical, but also be fair. You know, it's hard to be critical and fair sometimes. The art of Twilight Princess is a joy. I think it's a beautiful game in many ways. I don't think this art style has aged that well compared to other games in the series. If I'm being a little honest, I actually think that Ocarina and Majora have aged better art-wise, but there are some aspects that look really cool still, especially all the Twilight stuff. Midna's design, the Twilight monsters, the Twilight realm, all these things. Oh yeah, let's also change the category to just 10. Okay. I think it would be unfair to say that this is an ugly game. I would it'd be unfair to say that this is not as timeless as something like Ocarina of Time. But honestly, I don't necessarily like this art style as much as I like, you know, it's something about the proportions of the characters as well. I feel like Link is super lanky. He has really long legs and really long arms, and I think that's a general thing in this design. As I said, I really like the Twilight designs, but everything else I don't think has necessarily. Like it's all over the place. Like then you're right across the Hyrule field. Looks pretty cool with the clouds and the shadow on the ground, and it kind of feels like how you would think that Hyrule Field was in Ocarina of Time, to it in higher graphics and stuff. But I don't think those things sort of save the few. Okay, I'm not going to give this a bad score. I'm just going to say that this is going to be a little lower, but still really high. So I'm going to go with an 8 out of 10 for the art style here, because there's a lot of great stuff, and especially stuff like, you know, Snow Peak ruins and stuff like that. But I still also think that there are some things that haven't aged nearly as well in some areas, like especially the mountain area and the forest area. I don't think those areas are as pretty now as they used to be. So I will say where I think this more simplistic design and less realistic design of Ocarina and Majora kind of wins out there. So I'm gonna go with an 8 out of 10 for the art. The story, I think, is great. This is probably one of the more mature stories in Zelda. I think it's uh I think it has a lot of nuance to it. Um you have the whole plot line with the kids from your hometown and Ilya losing her memory, everyone getting kidnapped when everything's about to, happen, and then it all kind of goes to shit. You find out that the world has been overtaken by Twilight. Princess Zelda. You meet Princess Zelda, and she tells you that she kind of gave up her whole kingdom to save everyone. Yeah, it's all kind of starting in a really bleak place, and all you gotta do is get the help of this little imp, this little shadow imp who is bossing you around. And the whole thread of fate, like the whole thread of this world lies on her shoulders, kind of, and you gotta help her, of course, with your wolf and Linky powers and stuff. So I mean, it's not only her, it's also Link, of course, but she has the key, So the story, I think, is really strong here. I actually quite like the story. I like the story beats. Everybody gets killed and he gets thrown under the bus. Yeah, kind of. I really like the story beats here. I think Midna, like Zelda sacrificing her life force for Midna, and finding, learning all these lore things about the way they introduce everything with sand, and I think it's a really well written story. So I would definitely give this. Is this one of the best stories in this franchise when you think about it? When it comes to nuance and it might be. Great bittersweet ending. Okay, yeah. I think I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10 on the story, I think. Is it a 9? I don't know if it's a 10. I don't know if I can get behind it being a 10. But then again, is there a 10 out of 10 story in Zelda? That's the question, right? 9.5? 9.9. I'm actually thinking, yeah. It is a very strong story. Yeah. Does it have any weaknesses? Does the story have any weaknesses? There is, of course, some pacing and stuff, but I think that's not necessarily on the story. That's more on the structure. So, okay, I'm gonna go. I've gotta go 10. I'm gonna try and go 10, and we can go back to it a little later. But for now, I think I'm gonna go 10. Now let's talk about the characters. That can maybe help my brain, jog my brain a little bit. So let's see here. Characters, I think, just as Majora's Mask had really good characters, this game also has some really strong characters, especially I think Midna. Let's give the entire game 10 out of 10. You'd be surprised that I don't think so. This is not my favorite Zelda game, so it worked very hard for that 10. It did. I don't think the characters are as great overall as they are in Majora, because in Majora, the game kind of lives and dies on its characters in the side quests and stuff, right? But I think this is a very close second, and this Midna is really carrying for the team here. Like, she is the best character in this game by a mile. Like, the way she talks in a way that's so alive and feels like such a proper, like, he feels like a person in many ways. I think Link is more expressive here. He smiles a lot more, and he actually shows emotion when something happens, right? I think he's a really expressive young man, and Zelda is a cool character. She's more of a sad Zelda in a way, but when she has to step up and save her kingdom at the end, she really does so as well, right? So I think the characters are a strong 9 out of 10. Then we have music. Real High says, can't quite put my finger on exactly how. Somehow I don't feel like the story quite comes around full circle. No, it's fine, because I'm still unsure about that 10 out of 10 story. I'm not quite sold on it. Because what does the story do well? It has a cool sort of alternative way of telling a story, but there's also some times where you feel like some things are missing, right? Like, for instance, those resistance, Hyrule's little resistance group, or whatever the hell they are, the adventurers there that go out and help and stuff. Something about them. Also, I actually gave Skyward Sword a 9 out of 10 for the story. And I actually think Skyward Sword might have a better story, but I'm not sure, because that's also a story that's more lore-based. And, oh man, no, this is not a 10. I'm sorry, but this is not a 10 out of 10 story. It can definitely match Skyward Sword, but in different ways. So I think we're going to go with a 9. When I also try and compare it with the other games, I think it's a 9. Okay. So yeah, we're going to change the story to a 9 out of 10. But it is still really good, though. I mean, that's not bad. It's just really good. But thank you for that input, Real High. That's good. The music, is it my favorite in the series? No. Is it good? Yes. But I do think that it is a bit muted in some parts where it should have been. I don't know. It kind of feels like it needs something to get there. It's not a 10 out of 10 on the music front for me. There's a lot of really good themes. I don't think all the dungeon themes are on point, but I think the overworld theme is great. There's the great final dungeon theme. There's yeah. But I think, like, for instance, I don't think Kakariko Village kind of hits. I don't think the Castle Town hits the same way as Ocarina, for instance. I mean, of course, all the throwbacks to Ocarina of Time are amazing. They sound amazing, like the Serenade of Water and things. But it's usually when it's stuff I recognize that it's great, not so much its own music, apart from the main theme. Of course, there's the fun stuff they do with the Twilight music. You like the Castle Town music? It's okay, but I don't like it as much as. So I think I'm gonna go with oof. Eight. Gonna go with an 8. 8 out of 10. Yeah, that feels right. But I mean, music is just generally good in Zelda, right? So the world, the world is very, like, world design is it's a lot of things, right? It's world, the way the world is built, but also designed, but also the way the world is presented in the game, and the way you explore it, and and the way it expresses itself, and the way it's structured. I generally think this is very close to, an Ocarina of Time kind of. Midnight's Lament, that's true. That specific song is really good. City of the Sky music, I actually like that. I actually really praised that yesterday, real high. But yeah, the world design. Let's start with my biggest complaints about the world. My biggest complaint is the Hyrule field. It feels big, sure. It's beautiful, sure. But it also feels kind of empty. I know Ocarina of Time's world felt that way too, but it does feel empty and fragmented, and I don't think it. I always kind of had a problem with that Hyrule field. It never really scratched that itch that I wanted it to scratch. But then again, it hasn't really been scratched until a very specific game we get to later. But I do like the way its other areas, like the villages are really cool. The dungeons are really cool. But something like Sora's Domain is just not as charming as Sora's Domain is in Ocarina of Time. And I think the way you traverse things is also kind of fragmented. It's not as, like in Ocarina of Time, I feel like you can ride almost everywhere. Whereas here, I feel like a lot of places are kind of, sectioned off to get to Death Mountain. Death Mountain is also kind of just like a run up through some Gorons and a hot spring. It doesn't really feel like a place. And getting to the desert, even though the desert is really cool, I really like the desert, but getting there is also just taking a cannon and getting shot over there. You can't just go in there. If Breath of the Wild doesn't scratch your back, what do you mean about that? But yeah, I think the world design here has a few issues, but the world itself is cool. Like, I love how you can see Hyrule Castle from almost everywhere, especially with the big crystal thing over it. But it's still way better than Majora. It's still way better than Skyward Sword. I think I'm gonna give it. I gave Ocarina an 8. Should I give it a 7? You said you don't like Hyrule Field in Twilight Princess and don't either in Breath of... What? Did I say I didn't like it in Breath of the Wild? I don't think I mentioned Breath of the Wild. I think I said there's another game where I like it a lot better. And it's the game where it's almost the only game where I like the Hyrule Field. But yeah, anyway. Let's move on from that. Because we're talking about Twilight Princess right now. After all the minuses. Okay, so what are the good things? Oh, I'm trying to figure out what it is. What are the good things? Yeah. It's not that there isn't any good stuff about it. I'm just trying to formulate what I mean is the good stuff about it. As I said, I kind of like how the world feels. Like I like the towns, how they feel alive, how they feel alive with both animals and people and stuff. I think that it really feels bigger and more like a place. It's just how the areas are connected that I don't necessarily like. because it's so sectioned. Also, the sectioning is not I'm not a big fan of, but overall, I think it's a cool Hyrule. I think it has, the important parts that Hyrule needs. It has the towns. It has the things feel more connected, I guess. No, you know what? Maybe this is a 6. Maybe this is a Majora's Mask, because I gave Majora's Mask World 6. Maybe this is also that. You can pick up Kitten, but that's maybe not the world. I'm gonna go with a 6 here for now. We can always change it, but it's like a temporary 6. Boating down the river makes you heavy. Yeah, I mean, it's a cool. It kind of is an expansion of the whole fishing place in Lake Hylia, right? So Lake Hylia is a tourist attraction. Not bad. But let's go with a 6 for now. I'm teetering on a 7. I just don't know how to, explain that it's a 7, which is kind of a bad thing. Because then, maybe you don't really mean it. The puzzles. This again was not a very puzzle heavy Zelda game. So I don't actually think the puzzles are very good. Necessarily, because they don't really get into a complexity level I like. But I also think those puzzles that are there are not bad necessarily. It's just they don't really get you thinking. You kind of know exactly what you need to do the moment you see it. It's only like a few dungeons that really make you think, like Lake Bed and Snow Peak and the final dungeon. But it's kind of a lot like Majora, where I don't think the puzzles fill up a lot of this game. But those that are there are cool. Also, there's a few more puzzles, I guess, in the world that are optional as well. But it's gonna be a 6, because I still think it's those that are there are still, they still feel like a Zelda dungeon. There weren't really any instance where I had to stop and think hard. You're right. Yeah. You know what? Let's go for a middle score then. Puzzles are mid in this. It's a 5 out of 10. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Munian. Sorry you already wrote it down, but it's I changed it from Scotty's. Scotty made me think. The combat though. Now we're getting somewhere. The combat is absolutely phenomenal in Twilight Princess. It has depth. It has optional nuance. It has a lot of secret techniques you want to learn, and it feels cool to do stuff, and you feel really awesome, and it has a really cool progression. This is how Zelda combat should strive to be. I think this is, the ultimate combat, especially when it's not where you sit and waggle a stick. When it's a button and you kind of, move to do the right button combinations to roll around an enemy and slice it in the back. And these techniques that you can learn and master. You can also complete the game by mostly not doing a lot of it. But the fact that you can do it, I think this is just a really strong development of the Ocarina of Time combat system. It laid the basics. This one really, built upon that. So this is just peak Zelda combat in my opinion, because it has a really strong baseline, which is only made stronger and cooler from all these things that you can do. I think the enemies also really reflect this. There's a maybe not as much of an enemy variety in this game as I think there is in Zelda Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask for that matter. I think maybe the variety is a bit smaller, but when you actually fight something, it feels really cool to fight it because of the combat system, right? So it's a fun enemies to fight. A lot of them are kind of similar in their patterns, attack patterns, especially the ones that you are kind of one-on-oneing or whatever. But then you have, the shadow beast that you need to kill in a specific order and at the same time and stuff like that. You have cool redeads and and things like that. I don't know. I think this is the enemy variety here is 9 out of 10 because the combat is just fun, but it doesn't reach the peak of enemy variety because of the variety. Maybe is it an 8? I don't know. It's probably a 9 for now. Isn't it? Is it a 9? Is it a 8? Ooh. I'm thinking. I do feel like a lot of enemies are kind of samey, but then you have something like the Dark Knot, which is really cool to fight, right? You have some really cool bosses as well. Like when you think about all the bosses and mini bosses together, this is a 9 out of 10. Yeah, really fun to just fight stuff in this game, and that's why I can kind of forgive that the puzzles are so low. It's because all the execution requirement stuff is just really high here. The items I generally think are good. There are some items that I kind of don't like. I think they are underutilized. Hey, ITQD, good to see you. Really long time. No see, but I'm glad you're here. We're rating Zelda game I just completed. I'm playing through all the Zelda games. Hope you're doing better than me today, at least. I hope so. I'm not. I have a few back issues, but other than that, I'm doing okay. Hope you'll feel better soon. IHQD. But yeah, good to see you. Anyway, the items. So you have the double claw shot, really good. The claw shot itself is also really good. We already established this in Skyward Sword. Bow is fine. The spinner is there. It's a cool item, just as the ball and chain, but those are not really used that much outside of their dungeons. This is a big issue with some of the items. You get a slingshot, but you don't really use it after you get the bow, which you get really early. The Gale Boomerang is useful, but it's very limited use as well. I think like as you get through the game, you start using only a few things like bombs, arrows, a claw shot, and then you only occasionally have to take out the bomb or stuff. You can, of course, do bomb arrows. You beat the game. I did predict this. I did indeed beat. Depressingly enough, that's also why you're stuck in bed. Oh man, sounds like it's really bad. Ice cream then if you're stuck in bed. Sorry to hear that. Yeah. Anyway, let's see items. The Beyblade and the Onion Rod, like those are so situational, and they don't really have a lot of uses outside of the one thing they can do. So I actually think the items here, they're a 7. They're a 7. Okay, we're getting somewhere now. We're getting somewhere. So the pacing. Grassmate, thank you for this. Yeah, but that's what happens when I do it on a Saturday, right? But you know, I kind of wanted. I was kind of excited to start Wind Waker tomorrow, so I was like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I can't really. Yeah, I need to. So I need to finish it now because I could have, stretched out by doing side quests and stuff like that, but I didn't really feel like that. I felt like, getting through it. So, okay. The pacing of the game is pretty good. This has been the longest playthrough, but it didn't feel like the longest. It didn't feel like it was, it dragged out because the dungeons were really well paced. Like, which game was it? Was it Minish Cap, where the pre-dungeon stuff? I mean, that was also only just 4 dungeons or something like that, right? But 4 or 5. Between those things, there was so much tediousness. But here, it didn't really feel like that it was tedious between dungeons. It was maybe once or twice it felt like that, like before the water dungeon a little bit, but that also really takes you around the world to see a lot of new places. And then, of course, the also it was my own fault for dragging that out. There's also before the sky dungeon, but that kind of takes you around the place as well. Maybe it was a little bit too much with the letters you had to collect under the owl statues, but I mean, that's my biggest complaint with the pacing. I think the pacing is actually really, really good here. Does it match Ocarina? Yeah, I would say so. I would definitely say so. But that's a 10 out of 10. Is it lower than that? Oh, I don't know. Yeah. My Minish Cap was terrible in that department. This is a lot better. Is it really like? Yeah, this is probably a really good pacing for a Zelda game. Like, it has a lot of dungeons, yes, but that's not a bad thing necessarily. But just, yeah, I don't know. Is it as good? I think Ocarina of Time, I put that at a 10 out of 10 because it feels like the perfect length for what it is, right? But this is also a bit longer, maybe, than it could have been in some departments. So I'm going to go with a 9 here. 9 out of 10. Yeah. I think that feels good. Let me just go through all the scores again. Art 8. Was I too harsh on the art? No. Again, I don't think it's as timeless an art style. Story 9 out of 10. Yeah. We really reasoned our way to that one, so I'm not going to change that. Characters 9 out of 10. Definitely. Oh, you done? I'm done. Hey, Lali, what's up? It went really, like, the last battle was really fast. It was really over, like, so fast, like that almost. But it was really good one, really awesome fight. Music, yeah. Again, I mostly like the music when it's a throwback. There are a few original tunes that are good, like the overworld theme and stuff, but I think there are better music choices in a Zelda game. So yeah, the world, yeah, we really went away to that one. Puzzles, yeah, combat, enemies, items. That is surprising, though. That is very surprising. Holy crap. It really shows how much a 10 can do. Wow. But it's still a really good score. That's still a really good score. This is a 7.9 out of 10. Wow. I did not expect that. I actually thought this would be higher than Majora. But because, again, Majora have some really strong characters and some really strong music and some really strong art and really strong story, then that really, yeah. The worlds and the Huh. I don't like TP as much. 7.9. Yeah, but when you compare that to Ocarina of Time, it actually makes sense. Ocarina of Time, I have an 8.7, right? So, but this is actually higher than Skyward Sword, which was it wasn't surprising to me, but it's actually yeah. It's not surprising, but it makes it confirms to me that I like Twilight Princess better than Skyward. Yeah. But yeah, I'm very surprised that Majora's Mask beat it. Holy crap. That also kind of confirms, but that does kind of confirm something I've been thinking about. The last, I mean, it's like 0.2 points. Like they are so close. They're almost the same, right? It's like 2 decimals. So you know, it's yeah. Twilight Princess and Majora's Mask being that close makes sense to me. Yeah. Okay, made it through all my your N64 topic. I really am. We went through it. We got through it. Let me show you guys the dungeons as well here. This is the dungeon where that's the score that says there, dungeons. That's the same score. So wow. What a lot of stats for this game, right? Like this is one of those games where you have so many stats because there's so many dungeons. And that's also why the dungeons kind of fell a bit lower, because there's some dungeons, pulling it down. But I will say, in Twilight Princess defense, the dungeons that are really good are really good. Like, really good. I was very surprised with Lake Bed Temple. I went into that thinking this is going to score really low. That's an 8 out of 10 for me now. That's crazy to think about where I stood on that 20 years ago when the game came out. Arbiter's Grounds, not as high as I would have thought. Snow Peak Ruins, of course, the peak. City in the Sky, a lot higher as well. So some really high, and Forest Temple actually redeemed itself as well this time. I used to not like Forest Temple too much, but this one, it's also because I'm considering where they are in the game progression. Instead of just considering them, individually, just a dungeon you go in through randomly. You can't really do that. You also need to consider where is it in the game. So yeah. Also, I'm just going to write it up here, Moni, since I don't think you heard me. I'm just going to write the completion. 32 hours. So, yeah. Ish. Sort of. Yeah. We're done a bit earlier today than I thought we would be, but that's okay. As I said, I'm a little bit in pain today, so I kind of want to end early to stretch that stuff and things like that. But let's go before I end. Yeah, that's a really good point, Dalek. A really good question. Let's go in here and see what have we. Also, let's get this thing up. So we did Twilight Princess now. We're skipping the next one. So that's not working. One sec. Let me remove this one real quick. One sec. Zelda there. Oh, it's because wait, what? I think I know why. There we go. Okay, here we are. Yes. Okay, so next up is Wind Waker, and I showed it here, but I think it's better to show like this. So what have we done until now? We started with Skyward Sword, completed Minish Cap, then Ocarina of Time, then the time split happened. And then that means we're going through all of the timelines, the split timelines. So Majora's Mask is done, Twilight Princess is done. We're skipping Four Swords Adventures because it's a multiplayer game. Now we're going to the adult timeline. So what is the adult timeline? At the end of Ocarina of Time, you guys remember now, right? Link gets he gets thrown back to his own timeline, like when he was a kid. That effectively removes him from the 7 years in the future where Hyrule was ruled by Ganondorf for 7 years. That Hyrule exists separately, parallel with the one from Majora's Mask and Twilight Princess. But it's 7 years in the future, right? What happens is Link disappears from this timeline. There's no hero to replace him. So what happens is a few years after the events of Ocarina of Time, everything seems to be good, but at some point, okay, maybe not a few years, but at some point afterwards, there's some peacetime, no Ganon, but he returns. He breaks out of his seal in the Sacred Realm, and he comes back. But this time, there's no one to stop him. Link is not there. The hero is gone, which we will be told about in Zelda Wind Waker. So we are going to play The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker as the next game. In the first game in the adult timeline, we're not going back in time necessarily, only for the intro. But, heard about the Imprisoning War. I think that's basically as I remember it. I need to look into this before we get started on A Link to the Past. But as I remember it, Ocarina of Time is kind of, the Imprisoning War. So, anyway, I think it's better if I maybe do this for the flip this, and then we can go like this so the cursor is out here. There we go. But yeah, Wind Waker is next. And I'll talk a little bit more about that again tomorrow. But basically Wind Waker tells the story itself. So I'm just gonna do a real quick recap tomorrow, and then we're gonna go through the starting cutscene, Wind Waker, where it tells us the lore and the story of what happened. It's kind of what I just said, but I want everyone to be on the same page for this. But yeah, we're starting a new timeline. We have finished off. So in the coming week, I'm going to make the dungeon scores for Twilight Princess. I'm gonna post it on the Discord. I still haven't figured out how to do the game scoring yet, but I will figure that out pretty soon. Then we'll see. We'll see what happens. Starling really likes Wind Waker. He thinks it's Chef's Kiss. I have my opinions about it, but I am willing to this time let to look at everything with a critical view and a fair view. So also we're playing the original Wind Waker. We're not playing the HD version. We're playing the GameCube game. So there may be some things I don't like, but there may also be things that I like better. Who knows? We'll see. It's gonna be interesting. I can't wait. So tomorrow at 1800 hours Central European Summer Time, I'm going to start up The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker. So we'll see how that goes. Thank you guys so much for watching today. I am done with the stream. So yeah, if you want to keep in touch and if you want to make sure you don't miss streams, go check the Discord. That's got his link. Hey Anna, bye Anna. Thanks for being here. Real quick to say hello. But yeah, wait, is Mentuk still live. He is. So I think I'm just gonna see, is he about to end or what? He looks like he's about to end, doesn't he? Yeah, he's about to end. So I guess I won't be rating Mintok. Yeah, I'm just gonna end the stream then. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Until then, I hope you stay safe. I hope you fly safe, and remember, don't fly too close to the sun. Icarus out.